other performances. Palmerston came agonisingly close yesterday. How's this? They lost. And he's going to have to.
He's going to have to at least equal
not
that.
only get a couple of runs, but yeah, at least stay out there for Bleakley, because Bleakley.
He's the man.
6 is actually added to Bleakley's score there, so he though hits it big. We do know that.
Number three now.
So 6 wickets in the shed. Edmonton's picked up 2. Into the man trying to get off the mark, and Pimbrel can't beat the bowler.
Hashtag Pimbrel.
Fourth ball of this over, and Pimbrel with a huge thick edge, straight down through the slips, coming back for 2, and they're going to not turn for 3. And good bit of advice there from Bleakley to keep Pimbrel from turning for a 3rd. There's no way Bleakley would have got back for that 3rd.
CDU Top End T20 Series, sponsored by Charles Darwin University. So
final delivery here for Edmonton in his 3rd over. And, oh, nearly just chopping that on was
Pimbrel. He chopped it onto his boot, I think. He was a bit lucky. Yeah.
Nearly chopped it onto his own wicket, which was we've already seen before from Edmonton. And so he picked up his 1st wicket. So final ball, just playing it off his thigh pad. Oh, misfield here. Will they get back for 2? They will. Good running and vision from Bleakley to call Pimbrel back. He was at the non-striker's end and didn't realise that there was a misfield. And they've made a comfortable 2 there.
6 for 63 and 13 overs down. So we've got 7 overs to play. Looking at the run rate, it's about 4.85, call it 5. 7 5s are 35. Another 35 on 63 makes them 98. Not enough, I wouldn't suggest, so they've got to get going.
Well, I won't say not enough, because Southern Districts this morning made 6 for 105. Didn't think it'd be enough.
Got over the line?
But they got over the line against Darwin. They dismissed, they were 9 for 90 in their 20 overs. Same as Southern Districts, when they actually beat Palmerston, they made 107. And then Palmerston were all out for 86. So Southern Districts have done well defending.
Let me start again. 6 for 63, another 35, 7 and over, 5 and over,
We've
35,
seen it before,
98. That's probably enough. Happy?
Yeah, you've covered both angles there, Ian. Bammett now into Bleakley.
Oh, well, right.
Just defends it off the offside. Oh, I think we've got it all covered here. Around the 100 mark, they could win or they could lose.
CDU Top End T20 Series. CDU are a partner and a supporter of cricket in the top end. We love having their partnership and their support.
And we love bringing this to you wherever you are. We'd love to hear, if you're listening on our stream or watching it on the Facebook stream, let us know where you're watching from. This is the first competitive cricket this weekend in Australia. Bammett into Brimble, and that's a wide. Probably the 7th or 8th for the afternoon. So as you mentioned, it's giving away a lot of runs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
just hear some words of encouragement out there, but also nice and tight from the youngster.
So that's
Bammett.
8 wides.
Bammett into Pimbrel. He just gets an edge down through the slips, run through for a 1. 8 wides.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a no ball in the 2 matches I've done today, but the wides have been there and
There's
abouts.
not much margin for error down the leg side, and that's the way it should be in white ball cricket. So the bowlers have got to be disciplined enough, and I don't know whether they practice enough line bowling.
Just around the 5 run rate mark for Palmerston. Bammett to Bleakley. He again just guides it down through the slips.
So quick between wickets, Alex Bleakley, which is what you've got to be in this form of the game, in all forms of the game, but more particularly in the white ball cricket. Charles Darwin University, great supporters of cricket in the top end, and if you're a student out there, get into the university. They support cricket.
Bimbrell now on strike. In from the northern end. Bammett. Bimbrell just putting it on the offside. Onside, no. Big call from Blakely, sending him back. Bit of mix-up there. Good call from
They're so
Blakely.
sharp in the field, Tracy Village. Blakely almost ran himself out, almost the overthrow, almost this, almost that. No run.
Bimbrell on strike. Bammett, second last ball of his over. And a big thick edge there, straight through the slips. Coming back for two, and they're going to make that easily.
Yeah, they did it well. And there's a big gap there. How many times have they worked it? Just backward of that man between point and gully.
Yeah, and third man had to make some coverage.
Yeah.
Is he all right? He seems to have pulled up a little bit like he's holding his arm. Might have hurt it as he was sliding around. So third man just in a little bit of discomfort. His right arm has picked up an injury, throwing that ball back in as well. Bammett now, and just letting that through to the keeper is Bimbrell. So at the end of the 14th over, Palmerston 6 for 69.
So Harshchik Bimbrell is providing good support for the skipper, Alex Blakely. Blakely just now nicely going along, the big 6, so he's got 9 off 6, and Bimbrell has 7 off 8. So both batting around about 100. As we've got a change of bowling, I reckon, because Edmundston has completed... No, yes, he has. Edmundston's completed his quota at the airport or southern end. We do have the change.
I think Edmundston might have one more over to come, but they have made a change right from the southern end.
Both Edmundstons look alike, so I'm just wondering if the scorers have got them mucked up a little bit, because there are 2 Edmundstons playing. There's Kobe and there's Jackson. And neither have got numbers on their back, so we can't discriminate.
Around the wicket to Bleakley. Bleakley coming forward. Maybe two's the call. And a good piece of running there from Bimbrell. Great work from Bleakley to stay in his crease and call Bimbrell back.
Yeah.
So that was good to get 2 runs there.
And so this will be Hayden Edmundston, or Jackson Edmundston.
Edmundston. And, oh, nearly run out at the non-striker's end. Hit Edmundston hard, and Bimbrell was actually out of his crease.
Yeah. Horrible way to go out, but that's the rules of the game, the laws of the game. So Hayden Edmundston.
Hayden Edmundston. Around the wicket to Bleakley. He just guides that through the slip. Just finding the gap easily there.
He's a class act, Shannon, is Alex Bleakley. Just worked it beautifully. Soft hands. And as we witnessed, he can hit the ball.
Bimbrell now on strike, going forward, just playing that to mid-on. Hope you're enjoying the second match of coverage here on day 2 of the CDU Top End T20 Carnival. Hayden Edmundston into Bimbrell. Bimbrell off the hip. This could be a run out. It's going to be close, and it's not on target. And Bleakley's looking up to the sky. They're running for everything at the moment, this pair. They realise there is a lot more runs I'd love on the board. 6 wickets down for 73. 1 more ball to come in this over. Edmundston to Bleakley. The 2 was the call early. They're going to go, oh, and Bimbrell's been sent back.
Good result.
So that is the end of the 15th over. It is 6 for 73 for Palmerston.
Charles Darwin University is one of Australia's top 2 universities for graduate employment and salary outcomes. Join today and let us help you build your new world.
Welcome back to Marara Cricket Ground #1. These two teams playing in front of you. It's their third match, both yet to have a win in this series. Palmerston lost an absolute thriller yesterday by 1 run. I can tell you behind us, the match going on between Pint and Nightcliff, Ian. Whoever wins that will go through to the semi-finals. So they have a big game on hand. Pint are 3 for 92 at the 16th over.
Wow. So they're looking at 130, 140.
The breeze just kicks up here with the papers flying everywhere, but kindly got everybody's pens, binoculars, drink bottles. Just a beautiful breeze for the crowd that's here.
Dummigan bowling from the northern end, so he's another medium pacer with the wind behind him.
So another change at the northern end. Dummigan in for his first delivery to Bleakley. Bleakley just guiding that down again. Gee, he does it so well.
Yeah, he seems to have plenty of time, doesn't he? Yeah. That's a virtue of a good player.
Letting the ball come onto the bat.
Yep.
Picking the gap, or even just dropping it in front of a fielder and then getting an easy run.
Lachlan Dummigan, right arm, just a bit above medium pace, bowling from the northern end at Marara Oval in Darwin.
He comes into Bimbrel and a slower ball. Bimbrel going for this run out, and that would have been short. Wanting to go back for a second was Bimbrel, and all of the players, hands on heads, they can't believe it.
Out by a metre, I reckon.
Dummigan, though, great piece of backing up of his own bowling, and that was out. He was short. Brimble was gone. They can't believe it. The fielder's behind him in that last shot. Dummigan in now for his third ball to Bleakley.
Lovely shot.
Bleakley finds a gap, just pulled that through and raced away for 4. That's his first 4 for the afternoon, but he's already got a 6 that went behind into next door, the Pint Club. Hit the children's playground, and luckily that's been closed at the moment. But it was a mammoth 6, and that's his first 4 for the afternoon.
Picked it off beautifully. Over pitched ball, pitched on leg stump, and Bleakley did the rest.
Dummigan to Bleakley. He moved across and an inside edge, and that's beaten the keeper who was going to his right. It's gone past his left, going down, and it's going to pull up a metre short from the boundary. And they're going to run a comfortable 3.
A good feature of this partnership has been the running between wickets. Sure, there's been a couple of occasions where maybe the run out was on, but they've put pressure on the fieldsman, and if you put pressure on anyone in this game of cricket, you're likely to succeed. And certainly Brimble and Alex Bleakley are doing that.
You mentioned Bleakley's fast. He's the one really directing it, calling early how many he wants from Brimble.
He's the skipper. If you want a game, keep the skipper happy.
He should get the first ice bath, I think, Brimble, who's forward, and he's just playing it off his hip. So playing it out to square leg. So
I don't think you can share an ice bath in this day and age, can you?
Probably not, but Brimble
social distancing in the ice bath. It's pretty
well,
hard
I have to, but these guys will deserve it, especially if they get a win. Far from over, though. 6 for 84 in the 16th over.
Yeah, runs on the board. It's a cliche, but by gee, it's a truism.
They have recovered, though. They were in the second over 2 for 8. And now they're 6 for 84, so they'll be happy if they can get around the 120. Coming forward down the wicket was Bleakley, sent back to his crease.
Great finish.
Lively Dummigan there to finish off his first over. He went for 10.
10 off the over. That's what they need, isn't it? They've got another 4 over, so it's another 40 runs, even if they do that. 124, just competitive in this competition. So early in the season, well, it's the first hit out of the season for all of these players.
And in the T20 format as well, it's straight into it, isn't it?
Yep, my word.
Can't even settle in. But the Darwin grade cricket starts next weekend. And so...
all 50 over games, and
have to change the slightly longer format, won't they?
But who won't be partnering and supporting will be CDU Top End, because they are supporting the CDU Top End series, the T20 series, which is being played at the moment. Day 2 of the competition.
tomorrow. It's semi-final and final action. And we've had some
This is the other
glorious drives.
This is Clube.
So he's back on
They're
into
all
the
having a
attack.
crack.
He's got good bowling figures. 2 for 14 in his final over from the southern end. And he is... No, just beaten him, but great hands from Trumer.
And it's a wide because it was down leg side.
So...
He's still got it, Darren Trumer. He's a marvel.
One of his wickets came off the stumping of Trumer. Edmonston into Brimble. And they'll just go through one.
Now this will be interesting. Will it be the 2-step down the wicket or just the 1-step down the wicket? Because I'm predicting that Alex Bleakley, 4 overs to go, 3.4 overs to go. It's time. The time has come, the Walrus said.
21 off 14. Can he get this run rate up? Edmonston to Bleakley. He has found a huge gap. And he has just cut that through point, raced away. His second 4 for the afternoon. He's already got a 6 under his belt as well. And you're right, Ian.
And that's why he's one of the better players in the competition, the Darwin District Cricket competition. And we can see just glimpses of it. It's his first hit out, of course. The last competition played here was the last year's competition. The grand final was played here in September. So it's been a long, long time between games of cricket.
Edmonston in and swing and a miss, and he's got to be out of his crease here. Bimbro's got out and he has been run out at the non-striker's end. Has he got back? And I think
did
Edmonston...
the bowler have the ball?
I think...
Yeah, he did.
He's got back in time. From this angle, it looked like he slipped in the middle of the crease of the pitch. Brimble looked like for no hell or high water he was going to get back, but you could just tell Edmonston's head just hung as he sat on the ground, and the bowler knew that he got back into the crease. Well done, Brimble. Edmonston now to Bleakley, playing it on the vacant air, coming back for 2. Bimbro's going to have to slide again. Oh, and he was just getting through there.
This is frenetic stuff, isn't it? This is really T20 cricket.
He'll be sucking in now, looking him down at the non-striker's end, just walking around trying to catch his breath. So is Bleakley, we must say. He's at the striker's end. He's just stepping away from the spinner because he wants to catch his breath.
Good education for half-stick Bimbrel.
Edmonston to Bleakley.
Lovely
straight
shot.
Back through the area. He's picked up another 4 through point with that lovely cut shot.
Yeah, wonderful. That's the second one of the over. Give him some width and he'll whack you and drop it short and it hits you on the on.
Third 4 in this innings from Bleakley. He's helping this side build a respectable total after the second over. They were 2 for 8. They were 4 for 25. They're currently 6 for 96. Edmonston to Bleakley, trying to whack that on the offside. Wanting two, and Bleakley is just now down to a walk, back into his crease.
Six for 98, so that's 14 off the over. That's the highest scoring over, and that's the way it's got to be, accelerating now.
Have a look, Bleakley just helmet off, hands on his head, trying to get oxygen in, as this has been great running from this pair out in the middle.
Hasn't it? Yeah, it's been a feature.
3 overs to go, asking for some water. I'm surprised they haven't run water out to him straight away. I think they've missed that signal. So they're wanting Bleakley to do all the work, but they're not going to reward him with some hydration.
Shannon, it was 6 for 59, so this partnership's been worth 39 at the moment. And it's been so productive, and a feature has been the running between wickets.
Well, that's harsh. His teammates don't think he deserves a drink.
Well, he's the captain. He'll have a say at selection table, so watch out, you blokes.
With your helmet off and motioning to water, they've just ignored him.
Maybe the umpires have had a bit of a say in this.
So, Scrimgeour back into the action at the northern end. The left armour. And that's just cut out to cover point. Beautiful afternoon here in Darwin. Dry season is what we have at the moment. 30 degrees. Apologies for all those down south who are freezing as winter is coming.
The CDU Top End T20 series. It's underway.
Only cricket, competitive cricket, first game yesterday morning, 9 a.m. 10 a.m. The honours went to Waratah, Nightcliff, Southern Districts, Tracy Village, Darwin and Palmerston. As Scrimgeour over the wicket. Bleakley just happy to scamper through for an easy one, and Scrimgeour there having to do his own fielding. As 100 comes up for Palmerston, 6 for 100 in the 18th over.
They've recovered well, haven't they? This has been a fantastic partnership. 41 runs at the moment.
Scrimgeour starts low, comes in to Pimbrel. He's happy just to guide that down point. You can hear the call early, just one.
Gee, Darren Trimmer's a long way back to Scrimgeour. Maybe he's sort of working out the angles because he's really got to be first slip and leg slip.
Just moving deep square leg around to deep
right in front of us, and you can stay there.
Scrimgeour. Over the wicket, it's wide, but Bleakley's got a top edge to it. The call is 2. Coming around as deep third man. Can they get 3? Pimbrel wants 3. He's running for it, and that is great running. Good pressure from Pimbrel. He called it early, wanted 3. And they pick up another couple of valuable runs.
Well, they do, because there was really only 2 in that, but strong running, which, as I said a couple of times now, has been a feature of this partnership, which is approaching 50. So from 2 for 7 to 6 for 104. With 2.5 overs to go.
2 balls left in Scrimgeour's third over. Coming into Pimbrel. Just going on a minute. He's going to be short, but it's missed the wicket. They're going to come back for 2. No.
Well fielded. The backing up was on. The shot had to be. He had to throw at the stumps.
I think that was.
That's Edmundston.
Edmundston.
Kobe.
So that's a frustration you can hear there from Edmundston in the effects. Scrimgeour, last ball of his third over, into Bleakley. Wanted 2 early, but that's a great bit of fielding coming off the ropes. And so at the end of the 18th over, Palmerston 6 for 106. Bleakley out in the middle, 38 off 22. And now they come out and reward their captain with some water.
Well, let's hope it's water. I'm sure it is.
In these conditions, it'll be warm out there in the middle. Still 30 degrees.
Oh, the poor dears.
Says us under the shade.
Yeah. With a nice cool breeze.
So I hope you're enjoying the action. Big game for both of these. Both of them not able to make finals tomorrow, but both looking for their first win of the carnival. So they want to finish off in style.
They will indeed, and I reckon that's Alex Bleakley's dad that's just walked past us. So he hasn't seen too much of his son's innings, but he's seen him bat often enough.
So
this is Hayden Edmundston.
It's his final over as well.
And of course they held Scrimgeour back after his 2 initial overs, and he's bowled at the death.
Hayden Edmundston into Bleakley. This hits that just for 1.
So this is hamstring tearing stuff, this running between wickets.
Even quad as well, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Anywhere there's a pressure point.
They should be up a little closer, probably, Tracy Village, realising that they're going to run for everything. They have been.
Yep.
And any gap that they can make. Brimble on attack now. He just gets an edge down through the slips. They'll want 2 here. Brimble, no, he's sent back.
Wisely.
Probably could have made it if they were a bit
Yeah,
fresher,
well,
but
we
both
didn't know
of them
about the
realised.
fumble, yeah.
But also both are realising that they are tired.
Yeah. Oh, well, as I say again, poor dears.
Edmundston, that's Hayden into Bleakley. He's just playing it off the pad. Edmundston wants it for LBW. Umpire's saying that it got some bat to it. That run rate is up around 6 now, so that a great recovery. All thanks to Bleakley, who's on 40. Edmundston from the southern end, just going on the back foot. Pimbrel guiding it down through the slips, and they run through for 1. Pimbrel with a great supporting role out there, moves on to 16.
Hasn't he been good?
The Birds agree, Ian?
Yep.
Edmundston
Pee-wees.
to Bleakley. Big, thick edge.
Chase on, Jacko, chase on.
Good encouragement here in the field, and that's a comfortable 2. Straight through the slips region.
Well fielded, good throw. That's your Pee-wee mate sitting on the fence.
Right near the FX box. Come to see what all the fuss is. Edmundston. And again, guided. Great running from Pimbrel. As soon as it left his bat, he called Bleakley through. Bleakley's over on his haunches now, says apologises, but that's great.
The important thing is that Alex Bleakley is facing the last over. 6 for 113 after 19 overs, and who'd have thought that's what they would have been.
Look at Bleakley, helmet off, still hands on his head, trying to suck in the big ones here. He has had a mountain of work to do over on his haunches now. Both of the batsmen out in the middle. This has been tough running, and it has been great running.
Yeah, it's been a real feature. In fact, in my view, it's been the best running between wickets in the competition. It's been sensational. And if they'd have done that a couple more times in their earlier games, they wouldn't be on 0 and 2 in the win-loss column.
So Bleakley, very slow to pick up his bat, tosses it in his hands. Pimbrel at the non-striker's end has done his job this afternoon. Bleakley stepping away from the crease, trying to work out where everyone is, trying to get a couple of more extra breaths in. Final over coming from Scrimgeour. Scrimgeour into Bleakley. And he just hits that straight down through mid-on. Pimbrel wants 2, he's coming back. They go to the keeper's end and he's out.
Easy, Alex
Pimbrel,
Bleakley, well thrown.
well done from Johnston too. He picked that Bleakley wasn't wanting to go to the... We knew he wasn't going to the non-striker's end because Pimbrel was well in his crease, but Bleakley was the man that was struggling. He picked the right end, went to the furthest end. Great throw. And Truma whips off the bails.
44 off 27.
Work that, boys!
So that was a great throw. Good vision. He just knew. They knew how tired both of the batsmen were. Picture Pimbrel closer to his wicket at the non-striker's end. Picked the right end and caught Bleakley short.
Lucas Nitschke. And so Darryl Lowe, 2 golden ducks in a row, probably won't get a dig.
Didn't you just come to see that?
Yeah. All the way from Alice Springs. Darryl Lowe.
Go Scrim, let's go Scrim!
So 5 balls left in Palmerston's innings.
And Lucas Nitschke on strike.
Scrimgeour, the left armour. And he just guides that to the offside. And Smart gets Pimbrel, who's been out there for a while, has his eye in, gets him on strike. 4 balls to come. Scrimgeour 2 for 15, and those 2 wickets came in his opening over. He picked up 2 wickets.
So 120 is a nice round number.
Scrimjaw to Pimbrel. Catch was the cry, just went to the left of the outfielder. They're coming back for two, and he's got to make it. Great running. Nitschke with the fresh legs, came back for two, pushed hard, and they are valuable runs as they creep up to 7 for 115. Sorry, 7 for 117.
So 3 is, as I said, 120 is a nice round number.
Oh, yep, just catching up on our TV screen. Just coming down, they want two. Good running and calling again from Nitschke. They're going to the the striker's end. And again, the Tracy Village.
Let's
go, Cole!
So we have got 2 balls to come. Okay, 7 for 119. They're going to catch up with the scoreboard in just a moment for you. I can tell you it's 7 for 119. 2 balls to come. Scrimjaw over the wicket to Pimbrel, just playing it off his pads.
Shot. Another 2.
So they're going to look for 2. And that is great running for Pimbrel
well
and Nitschke. Crowd likes it. The applause goes up. 7 for 121. That is great running from the pair out in the middle. Pimbrel again over his bat. He has given everything in this innings. The final ball to come. Pimbrel is there. We do know Nitschke will run at anything at this stage. Scrimjaw, final ball. And he's only able to get it back down the pitch and he's run out. So that will go down. I told you he was going to run for everything. He was running even before he should have.
7 for 121.
So that is the innings there. Palmerston finished 7 for 121 after their 20 overs. A great recovery. They lost 2 early wickets in the second over. They were 2 for 8. They were 4 for 25.
And it was, I think you've hit the nail on the head, Shannon. It was a great recovery, led by Alex Bleakley, run out for 44. Harsh-Chick Bimbrel, he was not out 22 at the end, and it was the Bimbrel-Bleakley partnership worth almost 60, and that was the one that turned the game on in favour of Palmerston, because Southern Districts, because Tracy Village had been on top. Vandermeulen 13, a bit disappointing by him. He was stumped by Trumer, and Scott Wood contributed 12 runs. But Kyle Scrimjaw, probably the pick of the bowlers, got 2 wickets in his first over, 2 for 21. Kobe Edmonston, the off-spinner, 2 for 28. So 2 wickets to Scrimjaw K and Edmonston C, but certainly a competitive score. 8 for 121 Palmerston after being in heaps of trouble. They were none for 7 and they finished up 1 for 7, 2 for 7. They were 3 for 22, 4 for 27, and they really recovered extremely well. And they finished up 7 for 121.
Can I just quickly give you a couple of other results before we head to our innings break? Behind us, the match between Pint and Nightcliff. Pint have made 4 for 111, so Nightcliff will have to chase down 112 for a spot in tomorrow's semi-final. The winner of one of those 2 teams will go through, so that will keep you across that. And I'm hearing that Waratah, we've just seen a big century from James Seymour. He made 112 off 73, and they're playing the invitational side, and they made in their innings 1 for 202, Waratah, so a nice, huge... Yeah, so a big one there. Well, we're going to take a break here at Marara Cricket Ground number 1, and we will come back shortly where Tracy Village will be chasing 122 for victory.
I don't often say how proud I am of you, as my daughter and as a strong Indigenous woman. You're proof that you can change things for the better with a good education, Beth. You worked so hard to get into Charles Darwin University. Now look at you go, baby. Get out there and show the world what you're about. Lots of love, Mum.
Someone's with Alinta Energy?
Yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, especially with their great energy deals.
Either of you guys see my wicket-keeping...
gloves? Get a great energy deal. Switch to Alinta Energy, supporting your home team.
Hello, May. You were always more brave than me. That's why I love you. You see challenges as opportunities. You moved to Darwin to study at CDU. You started a new career for our family. Our daughter will learn confidence from her mom. You inspire me. Love, Tim.
For over 20 years, CommBank has been supporting women in cricket so that thousands more girls can. CommBank, proud supporter of women in cricket.
Okay, well, I'm walking across here, so see you back there. Across to where we're sitting. Where's Mum? Hmm? Oh, she's there. I can see her.
when they start running out, that's when you get it. Are you ready? Are you steady? Go.
Welcome back from the innings break, where Palmerston are now in the field. They will be defending 122 for victory. The young side, Tracy Village, they will be looking to run that down. Whoever wins here between these two teams, it'll be their first win of the CDU top-end T20 competition. Both lost their matches yesterday, be it Palmerston only lost by 1 run in a thrilling end to their game against Darwin. But these two teams, well, they did recover quite nicely. Palmerston, after they were early stages in the second over, they lost 2 wickets. They were 2 for 8. So let's hope that Tracy Village make it a competitive match. Shannon Byrne in commentary, and I'm joined by Ian Butterworth. And Ian, that target of 122 early on, it probably looked like it might have been a bit smaller, but well done to Palmerston in the comeback.
It looked unlikely, and actually Tracy Village have gone out with a couple of guns, Darren Trumer and Kyle Scrimgeour, 2 of their very experienced players and very, very good players. The veteran who kept wicket, we saw him keep wicket, and he did it extremely well, Darren Trumer. And Kyle Scrimgeour got the 2 wickets early and bowled the first 2 overs and bowled the last 2 overs. So he's a competent all-rounder, is Scrimgeour. And Trumer is just a competent player and has been for the last 30 years that well, more than 30 years that I know, 35 years.
So Nitschke for Palmerston will open the bowling. And we are underway. Tracy Village starting their run chase. Nitschke into Scrimgeour.
And bowling from the northern end with the breeze behind him. The sea breeze has eased a bit, but nonetheless that's the prime end for the quicks. And I expect Hamish Martin and his spinners will bowl from the southern end, the bush end, the airport end at Marara. The MCG, the Marara Cricket Ground in Darwin, the top end of Australia.
Nitschke in again over the wicket, and that one just a little bit wider.
Too wide. They're on the board.
Scrimgeour just stepping away. Having a good chat, as you mentioned, to the veteran there, Trumer. Just having a look at where all these placements, a few little changes out there, Ian.
It's interesting we call him a veteran now. I can remember when I was heavily involved in cricket.
Nitschke to Scrimgeour, and again.
And Darren Trumer was always in our sights, whether it be junior or senior teams. So as a 15-year-old, he was representing the territory at Calder Shield, an under-19 team at the Calder Shield. So that's 35 years ago. So now he's a veteran. Unbelievable.
Not threatening the off stump at the moment. Nitschke is all smiles as he gets to the top of his run. Nitschke into Scrimgeour, and this time finding the right length, beating the bat of Scrimgeour straight through to the wicket-keeper. That was the one he was looking for, Ian. It was just a couple of centimetres too far.
Indeed it was.
Yeah, offside.
Robbie van der Meulen, I imagine, is keeping wicket for Palmerston. A journeyman, as I mentioned at our earlier call.
Nitschke in for his 4th delivery. Scrimgeour just happy to play that on the offside.
He eased it up to the to mid-on. Been a good start. sedate start. None for two, 2 for 2. 2 for 7 they were in their batting. Palmerston finished with 121.
Scrimgeour playing that on the offside. And that's their first run.
Off the bat.
Off the bat, yes. There was a wide earlier. A lot of talk out there for Palmerston.
And what a feature it was in that last innings, of course, with Palmerston. And I speak of Alex Bleakley, and his partner at the time was, who was it, Harshdik Bimbrel. They were terrific, weren't they? And got them back to back on deck, and 121, which is certainly a competitive score.
Bleakley is now in number 1 T-shirt. He's gone for the short sleeves. Nitschke, final ball of his opening, and it's a full toss, and just played down to mid-off, running through, and a good shot on the wicket there. And apologies there from Trumer to Nitschke. Scrambling through, he might have just knocked Nitschke. Checking that he's okay. And the two batsmen in the middle just having a quick chat.
It's interesting, Shannon, but it's a bit early for comparisons. But off the first over, Palmerston were none for 7, and it looked okay. Tracy Village, of course, none for 3. But then it all happened with Palmerston. With Kyle Scrimgeour bowling, he knocked over a couple, was on a hat-trick, and so they were 2 for 7 in the second over. We'll just see what happens with Tracy Village. At the moment, none for 3.
As the captain, Bleakley, trying to do it with the ball at the moment as well. He'll come in for his first over, and the first coming from the southern end. The top scored with 44.
It was a good dig, wasn't it? But the feature was running between wickets.
Yeah, and he was run out at the non-striker end, and that was because the fieldsman was a brilliant piece of fielding.
Yeah, going
knew
for 2.
that he was going to the non-strikers end, to the strikers end, sorry. And Bleakley and Brimble, you're right. They were fabulous, picking up a lot of singles and pushing for 3s.
The veteran Darren Trumer on strike, Shannon, asking for the side screen to be moved.
And third man just being pushed back.
There'll be no party tricks from Trumer. He's a wonderful, wonderful player.
Yeah, long off and long on being brought in as well. So that's the little pause here. Bleakley now happy with his field that he's set. And he'll come into Scrimgeour on strike. And Scrimgeour just getting a bottom edge there.
Trumer, that is.
Oh, Truman, sorry. Just 2 players out on the ropes.
Yeah, I guess that's the regulation, isn't it? Because the field restrictions early, so they've got the fine leg and the third man.
Yep.
I suppose he's a third man. He's a wide third man.
Bleakley to Trumer again. Trumer. Deceptive variation there. Slower ball just getting him.
Well, it did him, didn't it? He was aiming for the gap between point and third man, a wide third man, and missed everything. So it was well bowled by Alex Bleakley. He did him with a change-up, slower ball. Trumer batting well out of his crease.
Bleakley, third delivery, and that has gone a thick edge down through the slips. Third man coming around. Are they looking for 2? They are. Good running from Trumer. Comes back for a comfortable 2. And he moves to 3. Good running by Trumer. Knew that the third man was on the rope, had to come in a long way. Bleakley to Trumer again, and he now just guides that down to third man.
Yeah. Just genuine medium pace is Alex Bleakley. Not a recognised bowler, but they are short of frontline bowlers, medium pace and quicker. And so Alex Bleakley, the skipper, did it with the bat. Let's see if he can do it with the ball. He's got a couple of good ones up against him. Kyle Scrimgeour.
The left-hander.
Yeah, and he's on strike at the moment, and Darren Truman. So he's going to have to work for his wickets, Alex Bleakley. No rush for the batsman, although 121's competitive.
Taking his time to set his field, the captain. Wood just putting his arms out in the background there, asking where he wants him. Bleakley into Scrimgeour. He's come way down the wicket. Van der Meulen is far back, so big swing and a miss there from Scrimgeour.
It's a good start from Bleakley, part-time bowler.
Bleakley. And Scrimgeour has got that straight down the ground. And that has taken a couple of bounces. A good effort there.
It's a long way down there, Shannon. A lot of times it's pulled up before the rope. They should have the rope in a little bit, I think. It's certainly one of the bigger grounds in the world, I would suggest. The rope is not in as far as it possibly could be, but a lovely shot straight down the ground. It's just a classical cricket shot. And after 2 overs, Tracy Village none for 10.
The man that gave chase, I'm sure he's probably had enough of running out there at the moment. That's Pimbrel, who is giving chase. Not sure if he dived or he fell over through exhaustion. He did a marvellous job out in the middle, supporting the bowler that just finished his over, Bleakley.
CDU top end T20 series. CDU, wonderful, wonderful supporters of cricket in the Northern Territory. They are supporters and they're in partnership with Northern Territory cricket.
So Nitschke stays coming in from the northern end into Truma. Truma, that's a huge up and under. A few players getting around that, calling it early, dropped his sunnies, and a good take there from Bleakley.
Bleakley, I reckon you're right. You've got it in one.
He's come around, he's called it. There was about 5 players wanting to go towards that. And Bleakley, the captain, has taken the wicket. So Truma is out for 4. He is going back to the sheds. 4 of 5 deliveries, and Tracy Village are 1 for 10.
Good effort, good ball, and good catch. I mean, those high ones are never, ever easy.
Especially when there was a few players going for it as well.
Yeah, they were all converging, weren't they? So the call is important. How often do we see players crash into each other and all the ball fall between them because they're a little bit worried and they stop? As we see Dummigan coming to the crease, Lachlan Dummigan. There we see it on the screen. Alex Bleakley.
He called it early because Wood was coming in, wasn't he? And he stopped as soon as he heard Bleakley.
Well, as you do with the skipper. Be kind to the captain if you want a game next week. And next week, of course, is the round 1 of the proper Darwin District Cricket competition, a 50-over competition, 14 games.
Scrimgeour on strike because they crossed. Nitschke into Scrimgeour. Oh, and a good change of pace from Nitschke. Big smiles as he gets the ball back.
I wonder if he's related to Shelley Nitschke, of course, spent a lot of time in the Northern Territory and played Test cricket for Australia and was International Cricket Council Player of the Year two years in a row, she was.
Current assistant coach as well with the Australian women's cricket team.
Yeah, and I think she might be over in Western Australia coaching at the moment.
Just got appointed. So Nitschke in and just digging that out. Great bit of fielding, and no, a chance for a run out. And just a little bit of a wild throw there from Baker, but great bit of fielding.
So it's interesting, Shannon, women's cricket hasn't been strong in the Northern Territory, but Shelley Nitschke, left-arm orthodox bowler, top-end batter, International Cricketer of the Year, 2 years in a row.
Went down to South Australia. Nitschke to Scrimgeour, just playing that on the onside. Just beating the fieldsman. He's laying on the ground, MacArthur, so he doesn't get in the way.
And the other one, of course, Julie Werner, or Page as it is now, the married name Page, also went down to South Australia. The Northern Territory not in the first-class competition, women's competition.